The Lost Language of Angels, the Enochian Mystery. In the quiet chambers of 16th century England under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, a man named John Dee peered deeply into the unknown. He wasn't just a scientist, mathematician, or astrologer, though he was all these things. Dee was a seeker consumed by a singular question. Could humanity directly access the wisdom of angels? His answer came in the form of an extraordinary discovery, a mysterious language he called Enochian, said to be spoken by celestial beings and encoded with the secrets of the universe. Today, the Enochian language remains one of the most tantalizing enigmas in mystical history. Some believe it to be the lost language of the angels, a divine gift to humanity that predates all earthly tongues. Others dismiss it as a 16th century hoax. But as we dig into its origins, uncover its ties to ancient texts, and explore its possible implications, one thing becomes clear: Enochian is more than just a curiosity. It might just be the key to unlocking the mysteries of our world, and perhaps even the universe. What is Enochian? To put it simply, Enochian is a system of letters, words, and sounds claimed to have been dictated by angels. It doesn't resemble any earthly language, yet it has a complexity that feels natural and complete. Scholars who have studied Enochian note its unique syntax, vocabulary, and phonetics, far too intricate to be the invention of a single man. What makes Enochian even more fascinating is its alleged purpose. It wasn't just a means of communication, it was a tool. According to its discoverer, John Dee, the angels revealed that Enochian could unlock hidden truths, bridge the gap between the physical and spiritual realms, and even grant the user power over nature itself. The mystery of its origins. The story begins with John Dee, a brilliant but enigmatic figure who straddled the line between science and mysticism. Born in 1527, Dee was a prodigy. By his early 20s, he had already made a name for himself as a mathematician and astronomer. His intellect earned him the favor of Queen Elizabeth I, who appointed him as an advisor. But Dee was not satisfied with earthly achievements. Beneath his scholarly pursuits was a restless hunger for divine knowledge. He believed that the secrets of the universe, perhaps even the keys to immortality, could be found not through reason alone, but through communion with higher powers. In the 1580s, Dee turned to scrying, a form of divination in which practitioners use reflective surfaces to contact spirits. For this, he partnered with Edward Kelly, a flamboyant and controversial figure who claimed to have the ability to speak with angels. Kelly's methods were unconventional, often involving a crystal ball or polished mirror, but Dee was willing to try anything. Their sessions quickly bore fruit, or so it seemed. Through Kelly, the angels began dictating what they called the angelic language. Letter by letter, they revealed a unique alphabet. They provided grammar rules, pronunciation guides, and even entire texts written in this language. Dee meticulously recorded everything, convinced that he was transcribing the words of heaven. The angels also gave Dee and Kelly intricate Enochian tables, grids of letters arranged in mysterious patterns. These, they claimed, were like spiritual maps, encoding divine truths that could unlock the mysteries of creation itself. Why Enochian? Dee named the language after the biblical patriarch Enoch, who, according to apocryphal texts, was taken to heaven while still alive. In the Book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish text excluded from most versions of the Bible, Enoch describes being taught divine secrets by angels. Dee believed he and Kelly were reviving this same heavenly language, lost to humanity since the Tower of Babel. The angels told Dee that Enochian was the original language of creation, a pure, uncorrupted form of speech that connected directly to the divine. It was said to have the power to influence reality itself, not just through meaning, but through its vibrational resonance. The idea of Enochian being a real angelic language might sound far-fetched, but there are aspects of its story that defy easy explanation. 1. Its structure. Linguists who have analyzed Enochian point to its coherence. It isn't random gibberish. It has grammar, syntax, and a natural flow. Inventing such a system from scratch would have required not only genius, but also an immense amount of time, far more than Dee and Kelly had during their sessions. 2. Mathematical patterns. Some researchers have found hidden numerical sequences in Enochian texts that align with sacred geometry. These patterns suggest a deeper, almost algorithmic logic beneath the language. Third historical context, the timing of Enochian's emergence is also noteworthy. The 16th century was a period of intense exploration, both of the physical world and the metaphysical. Dee's work coincided with breakthroughs in science, the Reformation, and the Renaissance, a time when humanity was reaching for both the stars and the heavens. Enochian and the Bible. Enochian also has intriguing parallels with biblical stories. For instance, the book of Genesis describes a time when all humanity spoke a single language. According to the story of the Tower of Babel, this language was lost when God divided humanity into separate nations, each with its own tongue. Could Enochian be that original, unified language? In the New Testament, the Apostle Paul writes about the tongues of angels, hinting at a divine language distinct from human speech. And in the book of Revelation, John describes receiving visions accompanied by strange, otherworldly sounds. These accounts lend credence to the idea that a sacred angelic language might exist. A new lens on reality. If Enochian is real, its implications are staggering. Imagine a language that doesn't just describe the world but shapes it. Modern physicists have long speculated that the universe is built on frequencies and vibrations, a concept echoed in Enochian's purported ability to resonate with the fabric of reality. Some researchers believe Enochian could bridge the gap between science and spirituality. Its mathematical patterns align with quantum mechanics, suggesting it might hold clues to understanding energy, consciousness, and even the nature of time. On a spiritual level, Enochian offers a direct line to the divine. Practitioners who study the language claim it can deepen meditation, enhance prayer, and even facilitate communication with higher realms. A warning from the past. But Enochian's power is not without its risks. Dee himself warned against its misuse, noting that the angels often spoke in riddles and gave cryptic instructions. Some of Dee's contemporaries accused him of summoning demons, not angels, and even Dee admitted that not all the entities he encountered seemed benevolent. To this day, the Enochian language carries an air of danger. It promises enlightenment, but only for those willing to navigate its labyrinth of mystery. A mystery for the ages. More than 400 years after John Dee's death, the Enochian language remains unsolved, a tantalizing glimpse into a reality beyond our own. Whether it is truly the language of angels, an elaborate Renaissance experiment, or something in between, it continues to inspire curiosity and awe. For those brave enough to explore its depths, Enochian offers more than just words. It is an invitation, a call to rediscover the divine within ourselves and the universe around us. The Pleiadian connection, ancient roots of humanity and the forgotten histories of Atlantis and Lemuria. Humanity has long been fascinated with its origins, with science offering evolutionary theories and religion positing divine creation. Yet a growing body of alternative thought suggests an entirely different genesis, one rooted in the stars, specifically the Pleiades star cluster. These celestial entities, often referred to as the Seven Sisters, have been central to myths and spiritual traditions worldwide. Could it be that we are descendants of the Pleiadians, an advanced extraterrestrial civilization, who played a role in the dawn of human civilization? To explore this possibility, we must delve into the stories of Atlantis and Lemuria, ancient advanced civilizations said to predate recorded history. These civilizations, shrouded in mystery, may hold the key to humanity's cosmic heritage. Furthermore, enigmatic artifacts and testimonies such as the Piri Reis map and Admiral Richard Byrd's alleged journey to Agartha suggest that Earth's history is far richer and more complex than mainstream narratives suggest. Pleiadian influence on humanity. The Pleiadians are described in spiritual and metaphysical teachings as a benevolent extraterrestrial race deeply connected to Earth. They are said to be highly advanced, both technologically and spiritually, and to share genetic links with humans. According to these accounts, the Pleiadians visited Earth tens of thousands of years ago, interacting with early humans and, in some theories, seeding human DNA with their own to accelerate our evolution. This theory aligns with the sudden leap in human consciousness and technological development seen in our ancestors. Ancient cultures worldwide, from the Hopi to the Aboriginal Australians, reference beings from the stars, often identifying them with the Pleiades. Similarly, the Sumerians wrote of the Anunnaki, celestial beings who descended from the heavens to guide humanity. Could these accounts point to Pleiadian involvement in humanity's early days? The rise and fall of Atlantis and Lemuria. Atlantis and Lemuria, two legendary civilizations, are often portrayed as the zenith of human achievement and harmony. Atlantis, described by Plato as a highly advanced society, and Lemuria, often associated with spiritual enlightenment and connection to nature, are said to have existed tens of thousands of years ago. However, as the legends go, these two civilizations became embroiled in a catastrophic conflict, often referred to as the Atlantean-Lemurian Wars. Lemuria, located in the Pacific, prioritized spiritual growth and harmonious living, while Atlantis, located in the Atlantic, leaned towards technological and material advancement. Over time, ideological differences escalated into a full-scale war. The war, according to esoteric traditions, was not just a terrestrial conflict, but one involving advanced energy weapons and even celestial forces. This cataclysm is said to have culminated in massive geological upheavals, floods, earthquakes, and the sinking of both civilizations. Could these events explain the universal flood myths found in cultures worldwide? Antarctica, a gateway to lost knowledge. One of the most compelling connections to this ancient history lies in Antarctica, a continent largely unexplored and shrouded in mystery. Some theorists suggest that Antarctica could be the remnants of Atlantis, its ruins buried beneath miles of ice. This hypothesis gained traction with the discovery of the Peary Race Map, a 16th century chart that depicts parts of Antarctica free of ice. A geographic impossibility unless it was based on ancient maps from a time when the continent was ice-free. Adding to the intrigue are the accounts of Admiral Richard E. Byrd, a decorated American naval officer. In 1947, Byrd led Operation High Jump, an expedition to Antarctica. While the official purpose was to establish a research base, Byrd later claimed to have encountered an advanced civilization in a subterranean world called Agartha. In his alleged diary, Byrd describes being taken to a city of immense beauty, inhabited by beings who warned humanity about its destructive tendencies. If Byrd's accounts are true, they suggest that remnants of these advanced civilizations, possibly survivors of Atlantis or Lemuria, may still exist, hidden beneath Antarctica's ice. The bigger picture, humanity's hidden history. When we piece together these disparate threads, the Pleiadian influence, the rise and fall of Atlantis and Lemuria, and the mysteries of Antarctica, a larger story begins to emerge. This story challenges the linear, materialistic view of human history presented by mainstream science and religion. It suggests that humanity is part of a cosmic narrative, one involving advanced extraterrestrial civilizations and cycles of creation, destruction, and rebirth. Modern accounts and evidence today, the idea of Pleiadian contact is often explored through spiritual practices like channeling. Individuals claim to receive messages from these beings, sharing insights about love, unity, and the evolution of consciousness. Books like Bringers of the Dawn by Barbara Marciniak have popularized these messages, painting the Pleiadians as guides for humanity's spiritual awakening. UFO sightings are another source of speculation. Some describe encounters with crafts that seem more energy-based than mechanical, fitting descriptions of Pleiadian technology. While mainstream science remains skeptical, these accounts keep the idea alive. Archaeological discoveries also fuel the debate. Sites like Göbekli Tepe and Pumapunku display advanced engineering that challenges traditional explanations. Could these places reflect knowledge left by star beings? The Pleiadian legacy. Whether or not the Pleiadians are real, their stories hold a mirror to humanity's desire to understand its place in the universe. They remind us of our connection to the stars and the possibility that we are not alone. If the Pleiadians did visit, their influence may be subtle but profound. Perhaps their teachings live on in the stories we tell, the monuments we marvel at, and the spiritual practices that guide us. Or maybe their role is to inspire us to reach higher, to look beyond the known and embrace the mystery of existence. The Pleiadians are not just a tale of the past. They are a question about the future. If they are watching, what might they hope for us? Could they be waiting for humanity to rise to its full potential, ready to join the cosmic community they represent? The stars hold many secrets, and the Pleiades are no exception. Whether myth or reality, they invite us to dream of a greater connection, a history yet to be fully understood, and a future filled with infinite possibilities. The Pleiadians and humanity's history. The idea of the Pleiadians as more than myth has grown over time. Some believe these beings are not just figures in stories, but real entities who have influenced humanity. They are said to be advanced, benevolent beings of light who came to Earth long ago to guide early civilizations. In these accounts, the Pleiadians shared knowledge about the stars, energy, and the nature of reality. They taught humans how to build, farm, and understand the cosmos. Some theorists suggest their teachings were the foundation for monumental works like the Great Pyramid of Giza or Stonehenge. These structures, aligned with celestial events, may reflect knowledge too advanced for their time. Others claim the Pleiadians influenced spiritual traditions. Stories of angels, devas, or luminous beings in religious texts might be echoes of Pleiadian contact. In this view, the wisdom and compassion attributed to divine messengers could reflect the teachings of advanced extraterrestrial beings. Did they change our history? There is a theory that Pleiadians may have altered humanity's understanding of itself. Some believe they contributed to our evolution, possibly through genetic manipulation or spiritual guidance. This could explain the missing link in human development, the sudden leap in intelligence and creativity that allowed early humans to thrive. Religious stories could also be reframed in light of these ideas. The gods of ancient cultures descending from the sky to teach and rule might have been Pleiadians or similar beings. Over time, their actions could have been reinterpreted, blending fact and myth into the spiritual beliefs we know today. The Pleiadians are also thought to have left messages in ancient texts and oral traditions. These messages, some believe, contain hidden knowledge about humanity's origins and destiny. By understanding them, we might rediscover a lost connection to the cosmos. The night sky has always been a source of wonder for humanity. Among its countless mysteries, the Pleiades star cluster, often called the Seven Sisters, has held a special place in the hearts and stories of people across the world. For thousands of years, this tiny cluster of stars has sparked myths, legends, and a deep sense of connection. Some believe the Pleiadians, advanced beings from these stars, have played a role in shaping human history. In ancient times, stories of visitors from the stars were told around fires, passed down through generations. Indigenous peoples spoke of beings who descended from the heavens, bringing knowledge and guidance. These beings, often described as luminous and wise, were believed to have come from the Pleiades. The stories of the star people. The Lakota people told of the Tiami, their ancestors from the stars. These ancestors, they said, came from the Pleiades and guided them in their spiritual practices. The Hopi shared a similar belief, saying their elders had been taught by beings from the Seven Sisters who lived in harmony with the universe. In Mesoamerica, the Maya and Aztec civilizations aligned their ceremonies with the Pleiades. The stars were considered sacred, and their position in the sky was used to mark significant events. The new fire ceremony, held every 52 years, was linked to the Pleiades crossing the zenith, a sign of cosmic renewal. Australian Aboriginal groups also told of the Seven Sisters. In their stories, the sisters were celestial beings who came to Earth, often pursued by an unwanted suitor. These tales were not just stories, they were teachings about the stars, humanity's place in the cosmos, and the unseen forces that connect all life. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon during the night in a dream, and God said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." Solomon answered, "Give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. For who is able to govern this great people of yours?" God's response in 1 Kings 3:12, "I will do what you have asked. I will give you a wise and discerning heart, so that there will never have been anyone like you, nor will there ever be." King Solomon, one of the most enigmatic figures in history, has been a focal point of mysticism, theology, and esoteric study for millennia. Renowned as the wisest king of ancient Israel, Solomon's story is a tapestry of divine favor, earthly ambition, and spiritual mystery. Let us delve into his life, the legacy of his family, the legendary Ring of Power, and how this narrative resonates with ancient traditions, possibly connecting to the Sumerians and the Anunnaki. Along the way, we'll explore the secrets left out of the Bible and consider the deeper, esoteric truths that might lie beneath the surface of this fascinating tale. The life and legacy of Solomon. Solomon was the son of King David and Bathsheba, a lineage marked by passion, conflict, and divine covenant. David, Solomon's father, was a warrior poet who unified Israel, capturing Jerusalem and establishing it as the nation's spiritual and political heart. Solomon inherited this throne under the auspices of divine favor, and his reign marked a golden age of prosperity and peace for Israel. But Solomon was not merely a ruler of an earthly kingdom. He was the builder of the first temple in Jerusalem, a project said to have been ordained by Yahweh himself. The temple became the physical manifestation of Israel's covenant with Yahweh, a sacred space where heaven met earth. Solomon's family legacy, therefore, was one of profound spiritual and political significance. The Ring of Power. Solomon's wisdom and power are famously attributed to a divine gift, a ring given to him by Yahweh. According to apocryphal sources such as the Testament of Solomon, this ring bore the seal of Solomon, a symbol inscribed with a pentagram or hexagram. This symbol, imbued with divine power, allowed Solomon to command spirits, including demons, to do his bidding. The purpose of this ring was not merely for Solomon's personal gain. Yahweh granted it to him so that he might build the temple without interference from malevolent spiritual forces. With the ring, Solomon was said to control legions of demons, compelling them to assist in the construction of the temple. This narrative raises profound questions about the relationship between divine and infernal powers, suggesting that Solomon's wisdom lay in navigating the tension between these realms. Esoteric connections to Sumer and the Anunnaki. When examining Solomon's story through an esoteric lens, intriguing parallels emerge with older traditions, particularly those of Sumer and the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki, the deities of ancient Mesopotamia, were often portrayed as powerful beings who granted knowledge and tools to humanity. Some scholars and mystics speculate that Solomon's ring, with its ability to command spirits, might share thematic links to Sumerian accounts of divine tools or artifacts like the Mi, which were decrees of divine order granting power and civilization to humanity. Could the demons Solomon commanded be interpreted as echoes of the Anunnaki or their emissaries? In Mesopotamian lore, beings such as Enki and Marduk were known for their interplay with humanity, sometimes aiding and sometimes challenging them. The parallels between Solomon's relationship with Yahweh and the Anunnaki myths suggest a continuity of themes, humanity as mediators of divine and cosmic forces. Secrets left out of the Bible. The canonical Bible provides a sanitized account of Solomon's reign, emphasizing his wisdom, wealth, and piety. However, other texts and traditions paint a more complex picture. The Testament of Solomon, a pseudepigraphal work, reveals Solomon's deep engagement with magic and the occult. It describes how Solomon interrogated demons, learning their names, powers and vulnerabilities. He used this knowledge not only to build the temple, but also to understand the mysteries of creation and the spiritual world. Esoteric traditions also hint at Solomon's involvement in alchemical and mystical practices. Some believe the temple itself was a symbolic structure, encoding sacred geometry and cosmic principles. Solomon, as its architect, would have been a master of this sacred knowledge, using it to bridge the divine and the earthly. The true Lord of power, Yahweh or Marduk. If Yahweh granted Solomon his ring of power, does this make Yahweh the ultimate source of Solomon's authority? Or is there a deeper, more ambiguous relationship between Yahweh, Solomon, and the forces he commanded? In some esoteric interpretations, Yahweh is seen as one aspect of a larger cosmic hierarchy. This raises questions about the role of Marduk, a prominent deity in Mesopotamian tradition. Marduk, associated with order and kingship, could be seen as a parallel to Yahweh in his capacity as a divine ruler. Some mystics even speculate that the figure of Satan, or the adversary in later traditions, might derive from earlier Mesopotamian deities or forces, suggesting a more complex interplay of power. Solomon's ability to command demons could indicate that his ring was a tool of balance, allowing him to harness both light and dark forces. In this view, the true Lord of power is not a single deity, but the individual who can navigate and harmonize these cosmic opposites. Solomon's esoteric knowledge. Solomon's greatest secret may not have been his ring or his temple, but his understanding of the interplay between divine and infernal forces. In Kabbalistic tradition, Solomon is often associated with the Sephirot, the 10 emanations of divine energy in the Tree of Life. This suggests that Solomon's wisdom was not just practical, but deeply spiritual, rooted in the mysteries of creation and the structure of the universe. One esoteric teaching suggests that Solomon's ring symbolized the union of opposites, the celestial and the terrestrial, the holy and the profane. The pentagram or hexagram on the ring was not just a symbol of power, but of harmony, a reminder that true wisdom lies in understanding and balancing all aspects of existence. King Solomon's story is a profound blend of history, myth, and mysticism. His reign as Israel's king, his wisdom, and his temple-building projects are celebrated in biblical texts, but the deeper, esoteric dimensions of his life reveal a man who walked the line between divine inspiration and occult mastery. The ring of power, the commanding of spirits, and the secrets of sacred geometry all point to Solomon as a figure who bridged worlds. Whether viewed through the lens of Jewish tradition, Sumerian mythology, or modern mysticism, Solomon remains a symbol of the pursuit of wisdom and the mysteries that lie at the heart of human existence. His story invites us to consider the nature of power, the balance of forces, and the eternal quest for understanding. In the ancient texts of Sumer, Akkad, and Babylon, the story of Adapa stands as one of the most intriguing and mysterious chapters in the annals of human history. Who was Adapa? And what was his connection to the powerful Anunnaki gods who, according to ancient lore, shaped the destiny of humanity? Today, we explore the link between Adapa and the Anunnaki, the true purpose of his creation, and the question that has haunted scholars and enthusiasts for centuries. Was there more than one Eden? Was this part of a galactic struggle between advanced extraterrestrial civilizations? And could these gods have been the same beings referred to in various religious traditions as the fallen angels? Let's uncover the secrets together. Part 1. The creation of Adapa. The tale of Adapa begins in the ancient Sumerian city of Eridu. According to the Sumerian texts, Adapa was not merely a human being, but a creation of the gods, specifically the Anunnaki. But why was Adapa created? And who were these Anunnaki? The Anunnaki were gods who, in Sumerian myth, came from the heavens to rule over humanity. But they were not gods in the way we might think. These beings, often described as tall, powerful, and intelligent, were believed to have descended from a distant, possibly extraterrestrial origin. Ancient texts suggest they came from a place beyond our world, a planet or star system far out in the cosmos. Some modern researchers speculate that this could refer to Nibiru, a hypothetical planet in our solar system. But the true origin of the Anunnaki remains a mystery. Adapa was created by the Anunnaki as a special being, an early version of humanity. He was crafted with extraordinary intelligence and abilities, but he was also imbued with a unique purpose: to serve and guide the people of Earth. The Anunnaki were not just overseeing humanity, they were guiding its evolution. Adapa, as a creation of theirs, was central to their plan. Part 2. The role of Enki and Anu. One of the key figures in the Adapa mythos is Enki, the divine overseer who guided Adapa's actions and teachings. Enki is often considered an intermediary between the gods and humans, helping Adapa understand the will of the Anunnaki. Enki's role was crucial in shaping Adapa's destiny. It was Enki who warned Adapa about the gods' plans and how to navigate his encounters with them. But there was a deeper message here. The gods had crafted humanity to serve their needs. Adapa's story is not just one of a human hero. It is the tale of humanity's relationship with these powerful beings who both guided and controlled its fate. Anu, the king of the Anunnaki, was the supreme god in this pantheon. His will shaped the cosmos, and it was he who ordered the creation of Adapa. But Anu had a hidden agenda. He wasn't just interested in humanity's development, he was part of a larger scheme. The Anunnaki, it seems, had a far more complex role to play in the history of the Earth than we could have ever imagined. Part 3, the fall of Adapa, the forbidden fruit. Adapa's tale takes a dramatic turn when he faces the gods themselves. Adapa, a servant to the Anunnaki, was summoned to the heavens to answer for transgression he had unknowingly committed. In one of the most compelling aspects of his story, Adapa is offered a choice: eat the food of the gods and gain immortality, or refuse and face the consequences. The food of the gods, often interpreted as a metaphor for knowledge or divine power, was something Adapa was warned against consuming. However, the choice was not as clear-cut as it seemed. Was this the same tree of knowledge mentioned in later biblical texts? Is the story of Adapa a reflection of the ancient myth that we know as the Garden of Eden? While Adapa chose not to eat the food of the gods, his decision is often seen as a tragic one that prevented him from becoming immortal and gaining divine wisdom. The question remains, why were the gods so eager to keep Adapa from this divine knowledge? While Adapa chose not to eat the food of the gods, his decision is often seen as a tragic one that prevented him from becoming immortal and gaining divine wisdom. The question remains, why were the gods so eager to keep Adapa from this divine knowledge? Could it be that the gods were afraid of humanity gaining too much power? Part 4, More Than One. Eden, Galactic Intervention and the Battle for Control. The story of Adapa also suggests something deeper, something that stretches beyond the bounds of Earth. Could the Anunnaki have been part of a larger galactic struggle? Many theorists argue that the presence of these advanced beings on Earth reflects a battle between different factions of extraterrestrial civilizations. Could the Anunnaki have been fighting to control humanity's evolution for their own purposes? The idea of multiple Eden stories is central to many ancient mythologies. While the biblical Eden represents one version of this tale, there were other versions that describe different creations and interventions in human history. These interventions may not have been limited to Earth. There could have been other worlds where similar beings came to create or manipulate life. The Anunnaki's intervention may have been part of a larger galactic strategy. These gods, or extraterrestrials, were not just watching over humanity. They were shaping its future for reasons we may not fully understand. The story of Adapa is not just a tale of one man. It is a reflection of humanity's place in a much grander cosmic drama. Part 5. The Fallen Angels. a connection to Earth's myths. As we examine the connections between the Anunnaki and humanity's ancient myths, a striking parallel emerges. In many religious traditions, such as Christianity, the fallen angels are said to have descended from the heavens to Earth, often bringing forbidden knowledge to humanity. Could the Anunnaki be the same beings described as the fallen angels in these stories? Some scholars argue that the Anunnaki were indeed the fallen angels mentioned in religious texts. Like the fallen angels, the Anunnaki descended from the heavens, bringing knowledge, technology, and even a new form of human consciousness. But just as the fallen angels were cast down for their disobedience, the Anunnaki too may have faced a form of exile, whether it be through the loss of their power or their retreat from Earth. Conclusion: the mystery of Adapa and the Anunnaki. The story of Adapa is more than just an ancient myth. It is a key to unlocking humanity's deepest questions. What is our true origin? Were we created by extraterrestrial beings? And what role did the Anunnaki play in shaping the destiny of our species? As we continue to explore the ancient records, the story of Adapa and the Anunnaki forces us to ask, what if humanity's history is far more complex and intergalactic than we ever thought? What if the gods of ancient myth are not just stories, but clues to a much deeper cosmic reality? Only time will tell. Thank you for joining us on this journey through ancient myth and cosmic mystery. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment below with your thoughts on the Anunnaki and Adapa. What do you think? Were they extraterrestrials, fallen angels, or something else entirely? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time with more secrets of the past. The figure of Lucifer, often synonymous with the devil in Christian theology, is one of the most enigmatic and debated characters in religious history. Understanding who he was before his fall and the journey that led him to be seen as the ultimate adversary offers a fascinating glimpse into the evolution of religious thought and mythology. Lucifer before the fall. The light bearer. The name Lucifer comes from the Latin word Lucifer, meaning light bearer or morning star. This term originally referred to the planet Venus, which appears as a bright star just before dawn. In the Hebrew Bible, the figure associated with Lucifer appears in Isaiah 14:12. How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. The passage was likely a taunt directed at the Babylonian king who had risen in power but fell due to hubris. It wasn't originally intended to describe a celestial being, but later interpretations associated it with a rebellious angel. Lucifer in Christian tradition was an archangel, often depicted as the most beautiful and powerful of God's creations. He is said to have been close to God, radiating divine light and possessing immense authority over other angels. He was revered as a being of unmatched brilliance, reflecting God's glory. The rebellion in heaven, a story of pride. The story of Lucifer's fall is rooted in apocryphal texts and Christian tradition rather than explicit biblical accounts. The key idea is pride, often considered the root of his rebellion. According to the Book of Enoch and interpretations of Ezekiel 28 and Revelation 12, Lucifer, overcome by his Owlandor, sought to exalt himself above God. This act of defiance led to a cosmic rebellion where he and a third of the angels waged war against the divine order. Lucifer's ambition is famously summarized in John Milton's Paradise Lost, where he declares, "Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven." This rebellion ended in his expulsion from heaven. He and his followers were cast down, transforming from luminous beings into the fallen angels associated with darkness and evil. The transformation into Satan. The shift from Lucifer to Satan marks a significant theological evolution. While Lucifer represents the light bearer, Satan is derived from the Hebrew word Hasatan, meaning the adversary or accuser. In the book of Job, Satan appears not as the embodiment of evil, but as a heavenly prosecutor, testing human faithfulness to God. Over time, especially with the influence of early Christian writers, Lucifer and Satan became conflated. Church fathers like Augustine and Origen tied the figure of Lucifer from Isaiah and the serpent in Genesis to Satan, creating a cohesive narrative of rebellion, temptation, and enmity toward humanity. By the Middle Ages, Satan became solidified as the ultimate adversary and tempter in Christian theology. Pre-Christian influences, the devil, across cultures. The concept of a fallen celestial being or antagonist is not unique to Christianity. Many ancient religions have figures resembling Lucifer in their mythologies. 1. Hades, Greek mythology. Hades, the god of the underworld, is often misunderstood as an evil figure. Unlike Lucifer, Hades does not rebel against higher powers. He governs the realm of the dead with neutrality. However, both figures share associations with the underworld and judgment. Second set, Egyptian mythology. Set, the god of chaos and storms, is another parallel. Set is portrayed as a disruptor who murders his brother Osiris but is not wholly evil. Like Lucifer, Set embodies the complex nature of rebellion and opposition within a cosmic framework. 3. Prometheus, Greek mythology. Prometheus, who defied Zeus to bring fire to humanity, also bears similarities to Lucifer as a light bearer and rebel. However, Prometheus's defiance is often seen as noble, unlike Lucifer's pride-driven rebellion. These myths suggest that the concept of a powerful being challenging the divine or cosmic order is a recurring theme, reflecting humanity's grappling with the ideas of authority, freedom, and the nature of evil. The Watchers and their commander, Samyaza. The Book of Enoch introduces another intriguing narrative about celestial beings called the Watchers. These angels were sent to oversee humanity but fell from grace when they lusted after human women. Their leader, Samyaza, or Shemazai, orchestrated their rebellion, which resulted in the birth of the Nephilim, the giants described in Genesis 6. Samyaza's role parallels Lucifer's in that both leaders succumbed to desires forbidden by divine law. However, Samyaza's rebellion was more about indulgence and corruption, whereas Lucifer's was a direct challenge to God's sovereignty. Some traditions conflate Samyaza with Satan or Lucifer, further weaving the tales of rebellion into a unified narrative. The evolution of the devil in Christianity. The modern image of the devil as a horned, red-skinned figure with a pitchfork is a relatively recent construct, influenced by medieval art and folklore. Early Christians borrowed imagery from pagan gods like Pan, who was associated with wildness and indulgence, to create a visual representation of evil. The devil's role also evolved, reflecting the changing fears of society. During the early church, he was seen as a tempter and deceiver. During the Middle Ages, the devil became a more prominent figure in the popular imagination, representing heresy, witchcraft, and all opposition to the church. Why did Lucifer become the devil? Lucifer's fall into the role of the devil underscores theological concerns about pride, rebellion, and free will. In Christian thought, his story serves as a warning against hubris and the rejection of divine authority. His transformation from the most beautiful angel to the personification of evil illustrates the consequences of turning away from God's light. The devil is not merely a figure of evil, but a cautionary tale of what happens when creation rebels against the Creator. His story has remained compelling because it addresses universal questions about the nature of good and evil, free will, and the cost of ambition. Lucifer's story is a rich tapestry woven from biblical texts, apocryphal writings, and cultural influences. He represents a duality, light and darkness, beauty and pride, rebellion and consequence. Whether seen as a cautionary figure, a misunderstood being, or a symbol of resistance, Lucifer's legacy endures, challenging humanity to reflect on its ocher and choices. Who were the fallen angels? The story of Samyaza and their connections across cultures. The concept of fallen angels originates in ancient religious texts, particularly within Judeo-Christian traditions, where they are described as celestial beings who defied God and were cast out of heaven. Their rebellion, motivations, and influence have fascinated humanity for centuries, sparking comparisons with other myths like those of the Sumerians' Anunnaki. The beginning of the story, the fall of the angels. The tale of the fallen angels is most famously detailed in the Book of Enoch, a Jewish apocryphal text written around the 3rd century BCE. According to the text, a group of angels known as the Watchers were assigned to observe humanity. However, they grew enamored with human women and descended to earth to take them as wives, leading to the birth of the Nephilim, giant, powerful beings said to cause chaos on earth. Samyaza, the leader of the Watchers, played a pivotal role. He convinced the other angels to join him in this act of rebellion, swearing an oath together to ensure no one would back out. This act of defiance not only defiled their heavenly purpose, but also led to their eventual punishment, being cast into an abyss until the day of judgment. Connections to the Sumerian Anunnaki. The Sumerians, one of the earliest known civilizations, told stories of the Anunnaki, a group of deities who played a key role in creation myths and humanity's development. Some interpretations suggest parallels between the Anunnaki and the fallen angels. According to Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki were divided into factions, with some rebelling against the established order, leading to conflict among the gods. This echoes the narrative of celestial beings defying divine authority, as seen with the Watchers. An older version of the story of divine beings interacting with humanity and falling from grace predates Christianity. The Greek myth of the Titans who rebelled against Zeus and were cast into Tartarus shares striking similarities. Additionally, ancient Hindu texts describe the Asuras, powerful beings who often opposed the gods, devas. These myths suggest a universal fascination with the idea of celestial rebellion and its consequences. Shared themes. Across civilizations, many ancient cultures share narratives involving higher beings defying cosmic laws, often resulting in punishment or chaos. The common themes include 1. Rebellion against divine authority, seen in the Watchers, Lucifer, the Anunnaki, and the Titans. 2. Forbidden interaction with humanity. The Watchers taking human wives mirrors myths where gods intermingle with mortals, such as in Greek mythology. 3. Cosmic punishment. Rebellious beings are often imprisoned or banished, as with the Watchers in the abyss, Lucifer in hell, or the Titans in Tartarus. The enduring mystery. The tale of the fallen angels, Lucifer the morning star, and their counterparts across cultures invite speculation about humanity's collective imagination. Did these stories arise from shared experiences or cultural exchanges, or do they reflect something deeper about our understanding of morality and divine order? While each culture frames these tales uniquely, their shared motifs point to universal questions about power, rebellion, and the boundaries between the mortal and the divine. Throughout human history, serpents and reptilian figures have slithered their way into myths, legends, and sacred texts across nearly every culture. From the Naga of Hindu and Buddhist traditions to the feathered serpent Quetzalcoatl of Mesoamerica, these enigmatic beings often hold a dual role, revered as divine guardians or creators, yet sometimes feared as bringers of chaos. What if these serpentine deities were more than just symbolic representations? What if they were extraterrestrial visitors who came to Earth in ancient times, leaving a trail of their influence in our cultures and belief systems? The Naga, guardians of knowledge. In Hindu and Buddhist lore, the Naga are semi-divine serpent beings, said to dwell in underground palaces or hidden realms beneath the sea. They are revered as protectors of sacred wisdom and treasures, often depicted as offering guidance or teaching secrets to humanity. The description of the Naga as highly intelligent, otherworldly beings raises an intriguing question. Could these serpents have been alien life forms? Their depiction as otherworldly entities with access to hidden knowledge aligns with the idea of advanced extraterrestrials imparting wisdom to early civilizations. The serpent in the garden. In the Bible, the serpent in the Garden of Eden tempts humanity with forbidden knowledge. Traditionally viewed as a symbol of deceit, this figure also represents a catalyst for human evolution, urging Adam and Eve to gain awareness. Could this narrative point to an ancient encounter with a reptilian extraterrestrial being, one that altered the course of human consciousness by imparting forbidden truths? Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent deity of the Aztecs, was revered as a bringer of civilization, teaching agriculture, astronomy, and ethics. His hybrid form, part serpent and part bird, suggests he may not have been entirely of this world. Could the feathers symbolize advanced technology or a means of flight, such as spacecraft? If so, Quetzalcoatl might represent an ancient astronaut who descended from the stars to guide humanity. Reptilian beings. Across cultures. Beyond mythology, modern conspiracy theories often speak of reptilian aliens, advanced beings from other star systems who are believed to have influenced or even controlled human development. While this idea is often met with skepticism, it echoes the recurring presence of serpent-like figures in ancient art and stories. From the dragon-like figures in Chinese mythology to the serpents adorning ancient Egyptian temples, the theme is universal. Could these symbols be fragmented memories of contact with extraterrestrial beings whose reptilian forms left an indelible mark on the collective human psyche? Ancient aliens or universal archetypes? While skeptics argue that these serpentine figures are merely archetypes representing transformation, fertility, and the cycle of life, their consistent presence in unrelated cultures suggests a deeper connection. If extraterrestrials visited Earth in ancient times, it makes sense that early humans might interpret their appearance and actions through the lens of what they knew: snakes, dragons, and other reptilian creatures. The advanced knowledge and technology of these beings could have seemed godlike, cementing their status as deities or mythical beings. The mystery endures. Whether the snake and reptilian figures in our history are metaphors, archetypes, or evidence of extraterrestrial contact, their presence cannot be ignored. They continue to provoke curiosity and invite us to question the origins of our myths, and perhaps even our own species. If these beings were indeed visitors from the stars, they left behind not only stories but also a profound mystery waiting to be unraveled. Could the serpent truly be a cosmic messenger, a link between Earth and the greater universe? The answer may lie not just in the past but in the stars themselves. The enigmatic myth of snake and lizard people has captivated cultures worldwide throughout history, leaving behind a trail of intriguing stories and legends. Rooted in ancient mythology, these tales, shrouded in mystery, have been passed down through generations and may hold a connection to the reptilian references in today's pop culture and conspiracy theories. In ancient civilizations, serpent-like beings held positions of power and influence, adding to the allure of their mystery. For example, in Hindu mythology, the Naga were revered as half-human, half-snake beings believed to reside underground and interact with humans on the surface. Similarly, in Chinese mythology, figures like Fuxi and Nua were depicted as serpentine founding figures representing the harmonious duality of nature and civilization. The Greeks also contributed to this serpent narrative with characters like Cecrops I, the mythical first king of Athens, who was said to be half man, half snake. Echidna, the wife of Typhon, was another notable figure, depicted as half woman, half snake. These depictions highlighted the serpent's dual symbolism of wisdom and danger. In the Americas, the Maya civilization's rain god, Chac, and the Aztec deity Tlaloc were both depicted with serpentine features, showcasing the reptilian motif's deep roots in Mesoamerican culture. This theme of divine or semi-divine beings bearing reptilian traits is a common thread in global mythology. The fascination with reptilian humanoids has persisted into modern times through fringe theories and conspiracy narratives, spinning tales of hidden societies and underground dwellings where these beings continue to exist, influencing human affairs from the shadows. While mainstream scholarship often dismisses these stories, they are a testament to the enduring human curiosity about the unknown and the allure of the mysterious. However, the prevalence of these myths does not necessarily imply the existence of actual reptilian humanoids. While abundant anthropomorphic representations in art and literature are generally regarded as symbolic or metaphorical, representing deeper aspects of human culture and psychology rather than literal accounts of history. The legacy of snake and lizard people in mythology and folklore continues to resonate in our modern world, inspiring literature, film, and other forms of media. This enduring influence is a testament to humanity's fascination with the enigmatic and the extraordinary. Whether as an ancient deity or a modern-day myth, the serpent figure remains a vital part of our collective storytelling, symbolizing a profound mystery that intrigues the human spirit. In conclusion, the tales of Naga and reptilian people from history are not just rich with cultural significance, but also carry a profound imaginative appeal. The search for proof of their existence today remains a journey through myth and legend. The stories endure, however, as a captivating element of our shared human heritage, inviting us to respect and explore the depths of our ancestral imaginations and the mysteries that have yet to be unraveled.
The legend of Atlantis, a technologically advanced city swallowed by the sea. Could this be the civilization Thoth came from? Many believe Thoth escaped Atlantis before its destruction. He brought its advanced knowledge to Egypt. The Egyptians believed Thoth possessed the secrets of immortality and time travel. Could these be technologies inherited from Atlantis? The stories of Thoth and Atlantis are like puzzle pieces. When put together, they paint a picture of a lost chapter in human history. Is it a coincidence that both cultures possessed advanced knowledge, or is there a deeper connection? The truth is out there, waiting to be discovered. Deep within the temples of Egypt, priests guarded ancient secrets. They were the keepers of Thoth's wisdom, passed down through generations. This knowledge was recorded on a set of mysterious tablets, the Emerald Tablets. These tablets are said to contain the formula for alchemy, the ability to transmute matter. They also speak of powerful energy sources harnessed by the ancients. The Emerald Tablets are a roadmap to unlocking our true potential. But their language is cryptic, their meaning hidden. Only those with the right knowledge can decipher their secrets. The Pyramids of Giza, majestic structures that have baffled scientists for centuries. Were they just tombs for pharaohs? Or could they be something more? Some believe the pyramids were built using advanced technology. They point to the precision of their construction, impossible to achieve with primitive tools. Could the pyramids be giant energy generators harnessing the power of the earth? The evidence suggests a connection to Thoth's knowledge. The placement of the pyramids aligns with specific constellations. This suggests an understanding of astronomy far beyond their time. The pyramids are not just monuments to the past, they are messages from the future urging us to unlock the secrets of the universe. Section 5. Tesla's Code. Cracking the universe's safe. In this chapter, we delve into the enigmatic world of Nikola Tesla and his groundbreaking theories. Nikola Tesla, a visionary genius who harnessed the power of electricity. His inventions and ideas were far ahead of his time, and his mind was always exploring the boundaries of science and the unknown. He believed the universe was a symphony of energy, vibrating at specific frequencies. To Tesla, everything in existence was interconnected through these vibrations, creating a cosmic dance of energy. Tesla claimed to have discovered a numerical pattern that unlocked the secrets of this energy, the 369 code. He was convinced that these numbers held a profound significance in the fabric of the universe. He believed this code held the key to unlimited energy and even time travel. Tesla's vision was not just about electricity, but about tapping into the very essence of the universe's power. Was Tesla tapping into the same ancient knowledge as Thoth? The similarities are striking. Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, was also believed to have profound knowledge of the universe's secrets. Both understood the universe as a web of interconnected energy. This web, according to both Tesla and ancient Egyptian beliefs, could be manipulated and understood through specific codes and frequencies. Could Tesla's 369 code be the modern-day equivalent of Thoth's ancient wisdom? The parallels between their ideas suggest a timeless truth that transcends eras and civilizations. Perhaps the answers we seek are not lost in the past, but hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to decipher them. The journey to understanding these mysteries is ongoing, and the key may lie in the fusion of ancient wisdom and modern science. Section 6. The law of attraction, ancient power in your hands. The law of attraction, the idea that your thoughts can shape your reality. This concept suggests that by focusing on positive or negative thoughts, you can bring positive or negative experiences into your life. It's a powerful notion that has intrigued humanity for centuries. This concept has gained popularity in recent years, especially with the rise of self-help books and motivational speakers. But it's not new. In fact, it's a timeless principle that has been around for millennia. It's an ancient principle taught by Thoth and the Egyptian priests. These wise individuals understood the profound impact of thoughts and intentions on the physical world. They understood the power of thought and intention. They believed that the mind could influence the material world, and they practiced this belief through rituals and meditations. They knew that by focusing your energy, you could manifest your desires. This wasn't just a spiritual practice, but a way of life that integrated their understanding of the universe's laws. This is not magic, but science. Modern science is beginning to catch up with what ancient civilizations already knew. Quantum physics, for example, shows us that everything is interconnected and that our thoughts can influence the energy around us. Everything in the universe is made up of energy, vibrating at different frequencies. This energy can be influenced by our thoughts and emotions, which also have their own frequencies. By aligning your thoughts and emotions with the frequency of your desires, you can attract them into your life. This alignment creates a resonance that draws your desires closer to you. The law of attraction is not just a feel-good concept. It's a powerful tool for personal transformation. By understanding and applying this ancient wisdom, you can take control of your destiny and create the life you truly desire. Section 7. Hidden Truths. Why keep knowledge from us? Why was this ancient knowledge hidden from the masses, kept away from the curious minds of the world? Why wasn't it passed down to everyone, shared openly for the benefit of all humanity? Some believe it was deemed too powerful for the average person, a force that could disrupt the balance of society. They argue that knowledge without wisdom can be dangerous, leading to chaos and destruction if misused. Others believe the knowledge was suppressed by those in power, the elite who sought to maintain control over the masses. They argue that this elite group wanted to keep the secrets of the universe to themselves, using them for their own gain, to maintain their status and influence. Whatever the reason, the result is the same. The vast potential of humanity has been stifled, our growth hindered by the lack of access to this hidden knowledge. Humanity has been denied access to its true potential, the chance to explore the depths of our own capabilities and the mysteries of the universe. But the truth has a way of revealing itself, no matter how deeply it is buried or how fiercely it is guarded. The more we learn, the closer we get to uncovering the hidden history of our planet and our place in the cosmos. Each discovery brings us one step closer to understanding the true nature of our existence and the boundless potential that lies within us. Section 8. The elite, guardians or gatekeepers. Throughout history, secret societies have claimed to possess this hidden knowledge. From the Freemasons to the Illuminati, these groups have been shrouded in mystery and speculation. Are they the guardians of ancient wisdom, protecting it from those who would misuse it? Or are they gatekeepers, hoarding knowledge and using it to control the masses? The truth is likely somewhere in between. Some may be driven by noble intentions, while others seek power and control. But their existence raises a crucial question. Who gets to decide what knowledge is shared and what remains hidden? Section 9. The quest continues, unlocking our true potential. The search for Thoth's lost knowledge is a journey of self-discovery. It's about uncovering the hidden potential within each of us. We are all connected to the universe in ways we are only beginning to understand. By studying the past, we can unlock the secrets of the future. By exploring ancient wisdom, we can create a better world for ourselves and generations to come. The truth is out there, waiting to be found. It's up to each of us to seek it out. Section 10. A final thought: the universe awaits. The universe is a vast and mysterious place. We are just beginning to scratch the surface of its secrets. But one thing is clear: we are not alone. The ancient Egyptians understood this. They knew that we are part of something much greater than ourselves. They left us clues, hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to decipher them. The time has come to unlock our true potential and embrace our place in the cosmos. The universe awaits.
The story of Moses from birth to purpose. The story of Moses is one of the most iconic narratives in the Bible, foundational not only to Judaism but also to Christianity and Islam. It begins in a time of oppression and despair, a backdrop that sets the stage for Moses to become a savior and leader. Yet the tale of Moses carries mysteries and parallels to earlier myths and legends, raising intriguing questions about its origins and its deeper significance. Moses' birth and destiny. The story begins in ancient Egypt, where the Hebrew people lived as slaves under Pharaoh's harsh rule. According to Exodus, Pharaoh, fearing the growing Hebrew population, decreed that all male Hebrew infants be killed at birth. This act of oppression laid the foundation for Moses' miraculous survival. Born to Hebrew parents from the tribe of Levi, Moses was hidden for 3 months by his mother, Jochebed. When she could no longer conceal him, she placed him in a waterproof basket and set him afloat on the Nile River. Pharaoh's daughter discovered the child, took pity on him, and raised him as her own in the royal palace. Unbeknownst to her, Moses' own mother became his wet nurse, ensuring he retained a connection to his Hebrew roots. From the outset, Moses' life was marked by divine intervention and a sense of destiny. He was saved from death, placed in a position of privilege, and uniquely positioned between two worlds, the enslaved Hebrews and the ruling Egyptians. Life in Egypt and the call to leadership raised in the luxury of Pharaoh's court, Moses was educated in the wisdom of Egypt's elite. He likely learned subjects such as astronomy, medicine, and law, skills that would later serve him in his leadership role. Yet Moses never forgot his heritage. As an adult, he witnessed an Egyptian taskmaster beating a Hebrew slave. In a fit of rage, Moses killed the Egyptian and hid his body in the sand. When his act was discovered, he fled Egypt to escape Pharaoh's wrath, leaving behind his life of privilege. Moses settled in Midian, where he married Zipporah, the daughter of a priest, and lived as a shepherd for 40 years. It was during this period of exile that Moses experienced his divine calling. On Mount Horeb, he encountered the burning bush, a phenomenon where a bush burned but was not consumed. From within the flames, God spoke to Moses, revealing his name as I Am That I Am, and commanding Moses to return to Egypt to free the Hebrew people. The transformation of Moses, the reluctant shepherd transformed into a prophet and leader. Moses returned to Egypt and, through a series of confrontations with Pharaoh, brought about the 10 plagues that devastated Egypt. Finally, he led the Hebrews out of slavery in the dramatic Exodus, crossing the Red Sea and journeying toward the Promised Land. Parallels to earlier tales. The story of Moses bears striking similarities to earlier myths and legends. For example, 1. The birth of Sargon of Akkad, the Mesopotamian king. Sargon's legend tells of his birth to a humble woman, his placement in a basket, and his journey down a river before being rescued and raised by royalty. This narrative predates the story of Moses by over 1,000 years. 2. The hero's journey. Moses' life aligns with the archetypal hero's journey outlined by Joseph Campbell, marked by a call to adventure, trials, transformation, and a return with newfound wisdom. What was left out and why? Biblical accounts often omit or reshape details to emphasize theological themes. For instance, Moses' Egyptian education. While the Bible hints at Moses' royal upbringing, it avoids detailing his exposure to Egyptian religion and mystery schools. Such omissions may be intentional to distance Moses from polytheistic influences. Zipporah's role. Zipporah's significance in Moses' life is downplayed, yet her actions saved Moses' life during a mysterious incident involving circumcision. This story, cryptic and unexplained, suggests deeper cultural or theological layers. The story's deeper meaning. Understanding the Moses narrative within the context of earlier tales highlights how ancient societies reused and adapted myths to address their cultural and spiritual needs. For the Hebrews, the story of Moses served to assert their identity as a chosen people and underscore their covenant with a single powerful deity. The God of Israel, demigod, extraterrestrial, or something else. The nature of the God who called Moses has sparked speculation for centuries. In some ancient interpretations, Yahweh is described with characteristics akin to a warrior deity, leading some to question whether he was perceived as a demigod. Others, influenced by modern theories, suggest Yahweh's appearances, burning bushes, pillars of fire, and clouds of smoke, resemble descriptions of advanced technology, fueling speculation about extraterrestrial involvement. Why does ancient knowledge end in Christianity? Christianity, as a syncretic religion, absorbed elements from Judaism, Greco-Roman philosophy, and even pagan traditions. Stories like Moses were reinterpreted through a Christ-centered lens, solidifying their place in Christian theology. This blending of traditions often resulted in the marginalization or recontextualization of older knowledge, aligning it with Christian narratives. Parallels to the Moses narrative in ancient religions. The story of Moses is a cornerstone of Abrahamic religions, yet its themes and elements echo across cultures and civilizations worldwide. When we delve into the myths and legends of ancient peoples, we find striking similarities to Moses' story, suggesting a shared archetype or a universal cultural memory. These parallels also intersect intriguingly with modern theories about extraterrestrial involvement in ancient history. 1. Stories of divine chosen leaders. In many ancient cultures, we see the motif of a chosen leader guided by divine intervention. Mesopotamia, Sargon of Akkad. As mentioned earlier, Sargon's story bears an uncanny resemblance to Moses. Sargon, a historical figure, was said to have been placed in a basket and set adrift in a river by his mother. Rescued and raised by royalty, Sargon went on to unite Mesopotamia under his rule. Hinduism, Krishna and Karna. In Hindu mythology, both Krishna and Karna were children born under miraculous circumstances, saved from danger, and later rose to prominence. Karna, like Moses, was abandoned at birth and floated down a river to be found and raised by another family. Greco-Roman mythology, Perseus and Romulus. The Greek hero Perseus and Rome's founder Romulus were also saved as infants from deadly threats, often through divine intervention or extraordinary circumstances. 2. Global flood myths and the water motif. The theme of survival through water, central to Moses' story, appears in myths worldwide. Noah and Utnapishtim. The biblical story of Noah's Ark parallels the Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh, where Utnapishtim survives a great flood sent by the gods. Both tales involve divine selection and the salvation of a chosen few. Native American legends, many indigenous North American tribes, such as the Hopi, tell of a great flood and divine beings who guided their ancestors to safety. These water-related stories often symbolize purification, renewal, and divine favor, which align with Moses' survival and eventual leadership. 3 native legends of sky beings and divine visitors. Across the world, indigenous peoples share stories of powerful beings who came from the skies, imparted wisdom, and sometimes intervened in human affairs. Mesoamerica, Quetzalcoatl and Kukulkan. In Aztec and Mayan mythology, Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god, was said to bring knowledge, law, and civilization. Some modern interpretations suggest that such figures could represent extraterrestrial visitors due to their depiction as descending from the heavens. Australia, Wandjina spirits. Aboriginal legends describe the Wandjina, sky beings who came to Earth, shaped the land, and taught people how to live. Their depictions in rock art featuring large heads and wide, glowing eyes bear an uncanny resemblance to modern descriptions of extraterrestrials. Africa, Dogon tribe and the Nomo. The Dogon people of Mali speak of the Nomo, amphibious beings from the Sirius star system who came to Earth and taught humanity advanced knowledge, including astronomy. 4th, common themes: gods, laws, and fire. Moses' story involves the reception of divine laws on Mount Sinai amidst fire and smoke, a theme mirrored in other traditions. Zoroastrianism. The prophet Zarathustra, Zoroaster, received revelations from Ahura Mazda, the supreme deity, often accompanied by light and fire symbolism. Greek mythology, Prometheus. Prometheus brought fire, a symbol of knowledge and civilization, to humanity, defying the gods and enduring punishment, a tale echoing themes of divine knowledge and sacrifice. These stories suggest a pattern of divine beings or intermediaries, bestowing knowledge upon humanity, often in dramatic, awe-inspiring ways. Modern interpretations, extraterrestrial theories. In the 20th and 21st centuries, the ancient astronaut theory gained traction, proposing that many ancient myths and religious accounts describe encounters with extraterrestrial beings. The Moses story, alongside other legends, fits within this framework. Burning bush as technology. The burning bush that spoke to Moses is often cited as an example of advanced technology, perhaps a holographic projection or an energy field that ancient people could only describe in terms they understood. Pillars of cloud and fire. During the Exodus, Moses and the Israelites were led by a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. Ancient astronaut theorists speculate this could describe an advanced spacecraft. The giving of the law. The dramatic scene on Mount Sinai, thunder, smoke, and a divine voice, has been interpreted as a controlled display of technology meant to awe and communicate with the people. The argument is not that these events didn't happen, but that they might represent encounters with beings possessing advanced knowledge, possibly extraterrestrial in origin. Why this matters? Understanding these parallels and interpretations opens the door to several possibilities. 1. Shared human archetypes. If these stories are universal, they may represent a collective unconscious or shared human experience, transcending cultures and time periods. Second, historical layers. If Moses' story is based on older myths, this suggests a cultural evolution where tales were adapted to fit new religious and societal contexts. Third, extraterrestrial contact. If ancient astronaut theories hold any truth, it redefines humanity's understanding of its history, origins, and potential future. Concealing ancient knowledge. Religious and cultural institutions often curate narratives to align with specific doctrines, which might explain why certain details are omitted or reinterpreted. For example, monotheism versus polytheism. Stories that could hint at multiple divine beings or extraterrestrial visitors are streamlined to fit a monotheistic framework. esoteric knowledge. Ancient wisdom, possibly preserved in mystery schools or oral traditions, may have been intentionally excluded from mainstream religious texts to maintain control over spiritual knowledge.
Deep in the sands of Egypt, a treasure lay hidden for centuries. It was not gold or jewels, but a book. This book, the Gospel of Thomas, contained sayings attributed to Jesus. Discovered in 1945, it offered a glimpse into early Christianity. Unlike the familiar Gospels, Thomas presents Jesus' teachings as riddles and parables. The Gospel of Thomas is a collection of 114 sayings of Jesus. Scholars believe it was written in the 1st or 2nd century, around the same time as the canonical Gospels. The discovery of this text sent shockwaves through the world of biblical scholarship. It challenged traditional views of Jesus and early Christianity. The Gospel of Thomas offers a unique perspective on the teachings of Jesus. It is a window into a time when Christianity was still in its infancy. The discovery of this ancient text has sparked debate and controversy among scholars and theologians alike, and more on inner transformation. In one saying, Jesus tells his disciples, "The kingdom of God is inside of you and it is outside of you." This suggests that the divine is not distant, but within each person. Jesus often spoke in parables, using everyday objects and experiences to convey spiritual truths. In Thomas, he compares the kingdom of heaven to a mustard seed, small but powerful. He also likens it to a treasure hidden in a field waiting to be discovered. These teachings emphasize personal experience and seeking. They suggest that true understanding comes from within, not from external authority. The Gospel of Thomas presents a Jesus who is more teacher than Messiah, guiding his followers towards self-discovery. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Gospel of Thomas is its hints about reincarnation and the afterlife. In one saying, Jesus tells his disciples, "I have cast fire upon the world, and look, I am guarding it until it blazes." This cryptic statement has been interpreted as a reference to the cycle of death and rebirth. Some scholars believe that these teachings reflect the influence of ancient Egyptian beliefs, which emphasized the transmigration of souls. The concept of reincarnation was not uncommon in the ancient world, and it is possible that early Christians were influenced by these ideas. The Gospel of Thomas does not offer a detailed explanation of reincarnation or the afterlife. However, the hints and suggestions it provides are tantalizing. They suggest that early Christians may have held a more complex and nuanced view of these matters than is commonly recognized. Why was the Gospel of Thomas excluded from the Bible? Early church leaders faced many choices as they compiled scriptures. They sought texts reflecting their understanding of Jesus and his message. The Book of Enoch, despite its popularity, was also left out. Both it and Thomas offered views that, while intriguing, did not align with the emerging Christian orthodoxy. The Book of Enoch, like the Gospel of Thomas, offers a glimpse into the diversity of early Jewish and Christian beliefs. It is a collection of apocalyptic writings attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah. The book describes Enoch's visions of heaven and hell, his encounters with angels and demons, and his prophecies about the end of the world. The exclusion of these texts highlights the complex process of canon formation. It reminds us that early Christianity was not monolithic. Instead, it was a vibrant tapestry of different beliefs and interpretations. The Gospel of Thomas and the Book of Enoch offer valuable insights into this lost world of early Christian thought. Section 5. Echoes of Ancient Wisdom. The teachings of Jesus in Thomas often resonate with those of earlier traditions. Osiris, the Egyptian god of the underworld and rebirth, emphasized resurrection and life after death. Zahura, a central figure in Manichaeism, taught about the duality of light and darkness within each person. While not exact parallels to Jesus, these figures highlight the timeless human search for meaning and purpose. The similarities between Jesus' teachings and those of earlier traditions suggest that he may have been influenced by a wider stream of ancient wisdom. It is possible that he drew upon the teachings of mystery schools and esoteric traditions that existed throughout the ancient world. The Gospel of Thomas invites us to consider the possibility that Jesus' message was not entirely new. Instead, it may have been a reinterpretation and synthesis of ancient truths, passed down through generations. By studying the connections between Jesus' teachings and those of earlier traditions, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the richness and complexity of his message. Section 6. The mystery of Jesus' healing powers. The Gospel of Thomas mentions Jesus' healing powers, but frames them differently than the canonical Gospels. Rather than focusing on the miraculous aspect, Thomas emphasizes the faith required for healing. In one saying, Jesus tells a woman seeking her daughter's healing, "If you have faith like a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move." This focus on faith suggests that Jesus' healing powers were not merely supernatural acts, but involved a deep connection between the healer, the healed, and the divine. It is possible that Jesus understood the power of the human mind and spirit to influence physical well-being. The Gospel of Thomas invites us to consider the possibility that Jesus' healing powers were not simply magical acts, but involved a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit. It suggests that true healing requires not only physical restoration, but also spiritual transformation. Section 7. Jesus and Atlantis. A bridge across time. Some scholars have proposed a more radical theory that Jesus' wisdom might trace back to the lost continent of Atlantis. While highly speculative, this idea connects with ancient myths of a technologically advanced civilization possessing deep spiritual knowledge. Could some of this wisdom have survived Atlantis' fall, passed down through generations to individuals like Jesus? The idea of Atlantis has captivated the human imagination for centuries. Plato first described it as an island nation with advanced technology and a utopian society. While most scholars believe Atlantis to be a myth, some argue that it may have been based on a real civilization that was destroyed by a natural disaster. The possibility that Jesus may have been connected to the wisdom of Atlantis is intriguing, but ultimately unprovable. However, it highlights the enduring power of ancient myths and their ability to inspire us to consider alternative possibilities about the past. Section 8. The Enduring Legacy. The Gospel of Thomas, regardless of one's beliefs, stands as a testament to the enduring mystery surrounding Jesus. It reminds us that the story we think we know is not the whole picture. The search for the historical Jesus continues, with each new discovery adding to the puzzle. The Gospel of Thomas challenges us to expand our understanding of Jesus and his teachings. It invites us to engage with his message on a deeper level, to wrestle with its complexities, and to draw our own conclusions. The Gospel of Thomas serves as a reminder that the search for truth is ongoing. It encourages us to question, to explore, and to remain open to new possibilities. In the words of Jesus himself, "Let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds."